Apiary expanding the Hive adds 7 new mats, replaces 15 expansion frames, adds a new faction, replaces 2 factions, adds 16 new tiles with 3 new dance tiles and 6 new dance tokens. But you can read all that on the box. So what does it actually mean? What do they all do? What sort of expansion is this? And ultimately, does it justify its cost?
It's a 1.5 update, a few changes for balance and smoothing the gameplay out for an ultimately more fun game experience. No new mechanics, nothing too crazy, just some extra tiles for variety and making those few little changes to make it a better game.
I'm still going to dive into what everything is, what I think of it, and I hope you enjoy that. If you do, and you like this new kind of content we're trying, we'd appreciate your support by watching the whole video, liking, subscribing, all the good YouTube stuff. But that's the answer. It's an update, and in my opinion, a pretty good one. A huge thank you to Stonemaier Games for supplying us with an advanced copy to check out. We'll start with my favourite, the 15 new frames. In a tableau building game, extra space to build is a welcomed inclusion, but the Apiary base game, all the frames were the same, and at times it felt like a chore to build rather than great expansion of your spacefaring Anthropilia society. The expansion changes that up by giving each new frame unique bonuses that not only give you new advantages, but new choices. During this setup, the frames are shuffled and placed into 2 stacks so you can only see 2 frames at a time. Whereas before you would just slap a frame down whenever you were ready, now you have to consider whether the 2 tiles that you can see are helpful to you, or if you can hold off and wait for something better, or if you really need to rush a level 2B to get that grow action and get that perfect frame now. Overall, this means you're going to see less seed cards compared to the base game, but it does feel a whole lot better to pick one up. It's more rewarding and way more fun. I like choices. This adds choices. There's also a new faction that directly interacts with the frames and their bonuses. The Sidonia will give you any of the build bonuses whenever you place a frame for the first 4 frames that you build, and the upgraded side doubles this to 2 bonuses and immediately builds you 2 frames when you flip it for a massive 4 bonuses, but it's balanced by the fact that you only start with 2 workers. On the topic of factions, there are updates to 2 factions, the Sekro and the Arty. The Sekro now get to recruit 1 tile at the start of the game and 1 on upgrade instead of 2 at the start, as well as now only getting 1 victory point for each recruit instead of 2. You'd also start with an extra pollen. The Arty used to let you pay resources to change the level of one of your bees up or down. Now you may pay resources to treat a level 3 bee as if it were level 4 and hit those powerful abilities early, plus you start with an extra worker. There are 7 beautiful new hive mats with new abilities and new shapes. I'm a huge fan of the one that adds free frames, or this one that lets you draw and place carvings that aren't in the board. These don't replace anything in the main game, so this is a straight upgrade from the 5 mats to 12, more than doubling the amount of combinations available for everyone to start with. You can now pass everyone 2 mats to choose from at the game start. This is a huge plus. The base game definitely felt a bit samey after a few plays, and I can see there being some amazing new combinations of powers and boards to really entice you to try out new things. Especially this one that lets you focus on seed cards now that frames don't focus on that. Once again, this is just more choices in a game that was starting to feel a bit dry and samey. Choices are good. There are 15 new seed cards specifically added for variety, though I'm not sure how much they needed them now that you're seeing less of them. But in a 5-player game, you definitely won't be shuffling up the discard pile anymore, which is much appreciated in my opinion. There's nothing like keeping a bad card away from an opponent, only to see them top deck it right at the end of the game. On top of some great new endgame scoring opportunities, like 8 points if you have 2 or fewer farms, or 6 points if you have 1 or less explore tokens, there's also some great new effects on the top half of the cards. I love the ones that will let you trade strength from one worker to another, swap 2 workers on the board so you can really take advantage of any numbers and power that you need, or this one that will let you move a tile on your board and activate any of the bonuses covered. These are nothing game breaking, but definitely appreciated additions to keep the game feeling fresh. There are also 18 new tiles to keep the game buzzing. I would like a few more for variety, but that would have been a pain to balance, and 18 fit perfectly on a board for manufacturing reasons. There are 3 new carvings to aim for, one that cares about empty spaces, one that cares about build bonuses, and one that will reward you for teaching a dance. Reward. I can't say that word. There are 4 new farms, nothing crazy here. 4 new recruits. I love the seed specialist that will reward you for extra resources for discarding seed cards, because I never really did that before. There are also 2 new upgraded recruits that will rebalance the engineer and the pharmacist from the base game, just minor changes. Coolest new tiles in my opinion are the 6 new developments and their one-time abilities. Reallocate your workers, purchase a carving for cheap, trigger your farms for extra income, activate this beautiful new frame bonuses, and get honey for focusing on developments. All powerful, all fun, all very much appreciated. The most minor of the upgrades comes with these 3 new dance tiles. You shuffle these in so you won't see them every single time, but instead of giving you Queen's Favor, these ones lock you into one of your choices, but give you victory points to really set you up to entice people into using this action. There are also 6 new tokens to add with these combinations, including this one that can be used for wax or honey. There's nothing too crazy here, but I really appreciated the difference it makes in enticing people to use your action instead of, maybe this was just our group, locking people out of getting easy honey. There are also 4 new Explore tokens and a 5th to swap in if you have the earliest version of the game like we do. The main change here is during setup. Instead of returning any leftover tokens to the box after placing them in the space environment, they're put next to the board face down. There are now abilities that will let you take exploration tokens without exploring, and when you do, you have the choice to take them from the face up spaces, and you put a planet there without exploring it and taking its bonuses, or you can take from the face down piles and take whatever luck gives you. It's a good change of pace without adding extra mechanics or confusion to the game, and it gives you a way to get more explore tokens without someone else getting the resources for discovering the planet. So that's expanding the Hive. It's more of all the good stuff in Apiary without clogging anything up. Is it worth it to pick up? It's good and it's fun, and I definitely enjoyed it more with it in play, but I don't think it's one of those 100% have to have expansions. If you find yourself pulling Apiary from your shelf more than once or twice a year, it's definitely going to add replay value, and it's all Automa compatible, so if you're a solo player, it's definitely worth it. It all fits in the base game box and comes with a new appendix to go along with the rulebook, so there's no jumping between different books to find answers. My name is Tom from Those of the West, and I hope you enjoyed this. We are trying some new things here, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, or if you're planning to pick up the expansion, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.